Hello everyone. In this video, going to share about static classes in Java. Java allows us to use static keyword on inner classes. While the top level class cannot be declared as static, the nested inner class can be static in Java. Hence, all static classes are inner classes in Java. Static inner classes do not require outer class to be instantiated. Why do we create static classes? With static classes, you don't need the instance of the outer class to access the inner static class. On certain cases, this helps in efficient memory management as outer class instance is not needed. My pronunciation is not that great. Please forgive me for any mispronunciations. The views shared are only personal opinion. Does not intend to hurt anyone's sentiment. Recommend discretion. Rules for static classes. We can create an instance of the static class without creating an instance of its outer class. All static classes are nested or inner classes. The top level class cannot be static. Static class can access only static members of the outer class. Other non-static variables and methods cannot be accessed within the static class. Inside a static class, we can create static blocks, variables, and methods. A class can have multiple static classes and any number of static classes within the static class. We cannot access the static class if it is inside the static block. Let's look at an example to understand in detail. I had created a class, outer class, declared non-static variable private int a equal to 5, static variable private static int b equal to 10. These static variables are to illustrate static class can access only static members of the outer class and non-static variables and methods cannot be accessed within the static class. Declared a class, static class, inside the outer class as public static class, static class. Inside a static class, we can create static blocks, variables, and methods. Declared a static variable, static int c equal to 15, and the static methods print and print variables. Inside the print variable method, printing the outer class variable b and static inner class static variable c. From static inner class, we cannot access outer class non-static variable a. Also, while we can declare non-static variable inside the static class, we cannot use within it. Remember, a class can have multiple static classes and any number of static classes within a static class. To show how to access static inner class, had created a class demo static class. Declared the main method, and inside the main method, first access static classes, static methods without instantiating object. So outer class dot static class dot print and outer class dot static class dot print variables. Then the second way, by using new keyword for static class. The syntax here is new outer class dot static inner class followed by parenthesis with the object calling the public static method of static class. Let's execute and verify the output. The output is printed as expected. We had seen in detail about all the inner classes. In whole, let's look at the advantages and disadvantages of inner classes. Please remember, these advantages and disadvantages vary based on individuals' perspective on how they see inner classes. Code optimization. It minimizes the amount of code and improves reusability, improves readability and maintainability. Nested inner classes improve readability and maintainability of the code because it logically group classes slash interfaces in one place only, accessing all outer class members. All members and methods of the outer class can be accessed from the inner class. Accessing private methods of the outer class brings a new dimension and making it closer to the real world. Disadvantages of inner classes increases complexity. While readability is considered as an advantage, it can be a disadvantage as well, and on some cases, it becomes hard to read. Debugging might not be straightforward and they can increase the overall complexity of the code as well. Increased memory footprint. Each nested class requires its own instance. This increases the memory footprint of the application. Difficult to test. Nested inner classes are tightly coupled to the outer class and depend on the state of the outer class. This makes it difficult to debug and test. As you are already aware, I am personally not a fan of inner class design in general. I try to avoid them as much as possible and utilize it very rarely, only on certain very useful cases. In my opinion, inner classes should be used only when they provide a clear advantage over non inner classes, and they should be used sparingly to avoid making the code complex and difficult to maintain. Thank you.